Good evening and welcome to my latest instalment of all things coronavirus and COVID related. So I've been laying low a little bit on the video because been waiting and waiting for the government to announce this so-called JobKeeper 2.0, which in effect is just an amendment to the original JobKeeper legislation that was enacted, maybe 7 months ago today. So what I've done is put in a bit of a timeline of things that you must get done. So I will elaborate on JobKeeper 2.0 coming for when we get more information in. But right now I wanted to show you some information that will bring you right up to date to where we are at the moment. So I'm just going to share my screen across and open up these slides. So hopefully you can all see those. So basically, where are we at the moment? So on the 29th of June 2020, the Treasury came back to the government. They did a review on the JobKeeper. And so they had to go out there and work out whether it was going well, if money was going to the right places, whether there's people, I guess, doing things to manipulate getting the JobKeeper, so forth. So from that review, they went back to the government. On the 21st of July, the government released a fact sheet. So it was JobKeeper payment extension fact sheet, and us in commentary are calling it JobKeeper 2.0. For those of you who are a bit more adept with legalese or jargon, it's basically like an amendment to the original legislation that went through. Now, one of the reasons why we didn't update everybody straight away when JobKeeper 2.0 came out on 21st of July was it wasn't going to start until JobKeeper 1 finished, which was around about the end of September. So we had a lot of time to digest it and have a look at it. The other thing that came to mind as well was that it was just a fact sheet, and from experience, fact sheets are just that, providing facts. They're nothing. They don't have a legislative instrument attached to it. There's no debate in Parliament, so we could be looking at something that's completely going to change or not even be enacted going forward. So we've waited on that. Plus, we still have time. The other thing that we need to think about too is that with JobKeeper 2.0 comes a lot of other information. But during this period, if you think about it, it was around about July-ish, maybe a little bit later on, that Victoria started having a massive second wave of virus. And so what's happened is things have changed. So this first JobKeeper fact sheet only, I'm calling it not a great sequel. That's very common in Hollywood movies, that the sequel is not as good as the original movie. So I basically concur with that. It was split into two phases. Basically, giving you another opportunity to go into JobKeeper from the December 2020 quarter. So that means from October, November, December, still in JobKeeper, and also the March 2021 quarter. Now, there are dates that obviously transverse those quarters because it's a fortnightly basis. So a bit essentially, we know we're talking in quarters. So literally, the first JobKeeper came in and is going to finish at the end of the September quarter, and now we're looking at extending it for a further 6 months, broken into two different quarters. So what they're doing this time is saying, well, we think $1,500 is probably too much, and potentially these new people that they worked out they're going to get JobKeeper Mark 2 or 3 are going to be areas where $1,500 is probably too much for a fortnight. So they're tapering it down. They've also brought in this new reduced rate. So for people who only worked up to 20 hours or less in a 4-week period prior to 1st of March 2020, they're saying, well, hey, in effect, why should you be getting the equivalent of the full-time loading amount? So as you can see, currently, doesn't matter, as long as you're in an eligible employee, it's $1,500 subsidy for full, and for doesn't matter how many hours you worked. And the December quarter phase, it's going to be dropping to $1,200, and for the reduced hours, $750, March $1,000, and $650. So, but the biggest thing that we saw as accountants that was going to create a big controversy and again, we address this now, is that the 30% decrease in turnover to get into, say, the December quarter, you had to show that you're down by 30% in the June 2020 quarter and the September 2020 quarter. Doesn't matter if your current situation's gone down. So have a think about COVID. March was the worst part. Lockdowns, getting to JobKeeper. Typically, people got into JobKeeper March, maybe April, but they started coming back in May and June. You know, a lot of people had a not a bad June. And then we got into the July and August situation. But the issue is that because you know, the April, May, June quarter may have had a big knock-on effect, and clients started to make, or businesses started making a bit more money. To get the December quarter, they're going to get back to that period. So now, if you think about it, in Melbourne, they're having a very bad August, September, which means that they're probably going to be okay for the JobKeeper 2.0. However, if they had a good April, May, June, they may be out of the system. So that was a massive controversy, and I'll show you how that's been potentially amended. On the 7th of August, the Treasury updated the fact sheet. So a lot of people, commentators, spoke about how that's not going to work, and especially I think with the second wave in Melbourne. Remembering this is a federal legislation, so it's not something they can say, listen, if you've got postcode 3,000 to 3,999, you're going to be okay to get Mark 2. They can't do that. It's got to be a holistic approach. So therefore, because of that push for second waves that may happen anywhere, and still may happen, God forbid, that they've moved that one. So to get into the December quarter, I'm calling it JobKeeper phase, you need to show a 30% reduction, or 50% if you're a big business, or 15% if you're non-for-profit, for the September quarter, and that's compared to the prior September of 2019. So you only have to claim that, and the same thing will happen for the March 2021 quarter. You need to go down by 30% in the December quarter. So another big change in this 7th of August update was that it also brought in this thing which said, well, your data employee needs to be attached to you, or employed by you, or being paid by you. Doesn't have to be 1 March 2020 anymore. It can be 1 July 2020. And now this point here is one of the reasons why I'm shooting this video. This is the most important part. We've sent out emails and stop presses and so forth at the moment. I've spoken to various clients about this, but this is very important because this affects you today. So a lot of you guys are thinking, okay, I might not get 2.0. Well, okay, that's fine. Put that to a side for a moment because that's not actually even law yet. But if you're in JobKeeper 1.0, you must listen now. So you must look at your relevant employees because they've changed that date from the 1st of March 2020 to 1st of July, and that applies for the current JobKeeper. I must stress that. So on the 14th of August 2020, the Treasury released rules now dealing with eligible employees, and that makes it law from the 3rd of August. So the only part of that that prior information that came out from Treasury is this changing of the eligible date of an employee having to be attached to you or paid by you to 1st of July has happened as law. The other part about the turnover and JobKeeper 2.0, how that works, that's not law yet. In effect, as I shoot this video, the bill has been put through Parliament today. So I'll have another update with the outcome of that. So like I said there's no updated legislation on JobKeeper 2.0. So just keep that aside, right? Because that doesn't start until the end of next month. So we've still got a bit of time to work that out. On the 24th of August 2020, this is very, very important, right? This goes for JobKeeper 1.0. This was the day, if you found out that you've got some employees that have now come on that are eligible, then this is the day that you had to provide the employees with a nomination notice, and they have to sign off to be attached. Remember, it's a one-in, all-in system. So if there are some employees that weren't with you or eligible, and I'll go through those in a minute, on the 1st of March, and they are now, you must provide them with nomination notice. They can elect not to be part of your JobKeeper, but you must do that, and it had to happen by the 24th of August. Big date, 31 August 2020. So if you have found that you have some new employees that can be enrolled, you must enroll them by that date to be eligible for the August fortnights. Okay, so remember, if you have employees that work for you at the moment but aren't on your JobKeeper nomination, that may be because of a myriad of different reasons. An easy one would be they weren't actually working for you on the 1st of March, but they started working for you, say, in May. Well, they are eligible potentially. There's the normal scenarios that we'll go through in a minute, but you need to actually nominate them to be able to get the subsidy for the 3rd of August and 17th of August. Now, that goes with the same rules. If you find these people that need to be there and they have been either stood down or they don't earn $750 a week or $1,500 a fortnight, you must top them up. So ensure that they are paid those amounts of money by the 31st of August. 1st of September 2020. So now, once you've done that, the clocks have a new date. For clients that I'm managing or we're managing, your JobKeeper will do those. But that's when you can start actually claiming the JobKeeper payments of those August payments for those new employees. So that's why September 1 is important. 27th September 2020, that's the last fortnight that's JobKeeper 1.0 will be paid till. So that means that's finished, gone. See you later. So so a lot of people who are on that, that's the last date you'll get it. And then it's up to whether you are eligible for the next phase of JobKeeper. Which again, as I said, is not finalised in Parliament, but hopefully will be soon, and I'll have more information about that soon. And that means that that's what the next slide is. 20th September, your new JobKeeper commences. So there's going to be another set of, I guess, of testing and application for that, and the forms are just not even out there yet. It's very hard to find anything on the ATO website. Hopefully tomorrow I'll read the explanation memorandum and we'll go through it. I'll provide some information. All right, so what do we got to do? Okay, so most important thing is to get my face out of that area, and I can talk to you about identifying any new employees that may have become eligible between the 2nd of March and 1st of July. Okay, first thing you got to do, any employees that I have that weren't working with me on the 1st of March, because if they were, you would have dealt with that already, and 1st of July. So I'll put on a new employee on the 31st of May. Well, okay, that's identification. Then we need to look at whether they're eligible. So the same thing goes, they've got to be an Australian resident. They can't be casuals. If they are, they're going to be over 12 months. And those normal situation checks that we did in the past, okay? So if we find these and they tick all those boxes, you'll be eligible for JobKeeper payments for these new employees from 3rd of August until the end of JobKeeper 1, so on the 27th of September. So very important that we do that. We haven't got many days to go to do that. So who could these new eligible employees? There's a bit of a tip to say, okay, well, give me some information about who they could or can't be. So it could be that that new employee that meets the conditions commence being paid by you from the 2nd of March. Remember, 1 March was a hard date. If you weren't employed on the 1st of March, you're out. So you might have missed out by a day or 2 or 3. So those people that have commenced with you from 2nd of March, but no later than 1 July. So 2nd of July is 1 July is a hard date. 2nd of July, you'll be out. So those guys are identified. Another one that you could likely have is some casuals. So remember how the casuals, there's very strict rules. They have to be attached with you for 12-month period and have continuous regular work and pretty systemic sort of way. Well, on the 1st of March, they might have only been working with you for 10 months in that capacity. Or by the 1st of July, they've passed the 12-month period. Provided they pass all those tests, you can pick them up and nominate them. Again, there might have been some individuals that didn't pass the residency test on the 1st of March or the minimum age to be part of JobKeeper on the 1st of March, but they might have had a birthday or got their permanent residence after that date, but before or on 1st of July, they're going to be eligible. Also, it also allows employees that were potentially on other people's JobKeeper, but have been employed by you on or before 1 July, they can be nominated for you as well. So that's another good one as well to think about. Okay, so like I said, we're here to help in any way that in short shape we can do. I'll be out there helping you with the next round of JobKeepers, and my team is working ever so hard to get that all organised, as we do each month for the clients that are retained by us to get the JobKeeper organised. Just keep looking out on social media. It is a one-to-many thing that I'm doing to try to get as much information out there as possible. So keep looking out for that. Share this video with anyone. I don't want to keep this information to myself and my own clients. It's not the way I roll. So if you think there's people that may not be getting this information or can be helped, please, by all means, get it out to them. But please remember, the biggest thing you think about today is that if you're in JobKeeper 1, this video pertains to you. There's not a JobKeeper 2.0 video. I will do another one of them soon as I get the information. So ensure that by the 31st of August, you have identified these employees, got them nominations, and the nomination had to have happened already on the 24th of August, but also make them pay them the minimum amount, and then let us know. Please make sure you contact us. If you're not sure, let's make sure we do the right thing, and feel free to come in and chat and let me know how your business has been going. And if I haven't spoken to you, I haven't heard from you for a long time, we're here for you. Look after yourself, stay safe, and let's get on with things. Thank you.